For today's ramble, the world's worst SJW Agent of Doubt is thinking about the looming TikTok ban and how it's going to affect my life. I have backed up all of my videos from that forum, and that platform I largely just used for short form content that I would then repost to YouTube anyway. Never really left YouTube. It is something that was access to a new algorithm that hadn't pegged me as not being popular. And that's what a lot of people got from that algorithm, is that the winners and losers of the algorithm war of who gets more attention had not been defined yet on TikTok, and at any moment you could make a video that would go viral. The virality of things there was so much easier for people to get a taste of. You know, I've had viral videos at a certain level on YouTube, certainly, but never had virality like I had on TikTok. Yeah, and especially not like repeated tastes of it, you know. And so that's gone. And so you have to think about where you are in your desire for attention, you know, desires for eyes on you, and whether or not just talking to, like, for me on YouTube with these long rambles, it's 100 people. Like, sometimes it hits 200 for like the core audience that I've generated, but like not really much more than that. And so it's much more something where when I see a comment from somebody, I know that person. They've commented like 20 times before on my account. I recognize their name, and we get to know each other. And so the social part of social media is more present for me than what TikTok had to offer. But it's now the 15th of January. I'm expecting TikTok to get shut down on the 19th. And I actually, I'm just doing a refresh on Google's news function for TikTok yet. Doesn't look like anything's different. I actually, for my Blue Anon project, I'm looking forward to the end of TikTok, in a sense that it's a good stopping point. And sometimes life will drag you back into drama and make sure that the work that you decided to take on takes over you. You know, like it just keeps you doing something that has lost its appeal. It becomes more of a job than something that you're interested in. And so for me, this project of keeping tabs on the Blue Anon movement, especially in terms of where their levels of denial are and what stage of denial they're in, that, you know, with the app going down and then the inauguration on the 20th, you know, ostensibly should Trump take office, which I am like 99.99999% sure will happen now. That's the end of the project. And it's an opportunity for me at the end of that project to just take an accounting of my life and what time I have in my day and do what I want to do again. first and foremost, I think just advertising my practice more, my actual job. I work contract, and you know, during this time of year, people's insurances reset, their deductible levels reset, and so you know, some people realize, I can't really afford to go to therapy as much, and so, you know, I take a hit in my pocketbook, and so just, you know, staying on top of things as far as keeping my schedule full, that's a priority for me more than, you know, internet drama and little rabbit holes I like to go down, right? But really just taking this accounting of time and what I want to do with it. Like, let me just adjust this camera over here. That guitar right there, you know, I need to play it 30 minutes a day, right? And not because I'm going to be famous at guitar one day, like at playing it in any public sense, but it's something I've decided brings my life joy, and you don't get to the next level of skill at it without putting in the hours, right? And for me, that means carving out a bit of time every day to do that. And I used to play guitar at other YouTubers in our little drama wars, especially there was Mega Chepo and Inventor Gorilla and a few others. Molotov Cockfail, I remember. Just, it used to be more of something that I could just whip out and add as spice to things, and I put it away for years, you know, and didn't pick it up nearly as much as I would have wanted to. When I take an accounting of my schedule and my life and what I want to achieve by the time I die, you know, I think that having looked back on my life, I want to have had, you know, a couple minutes each day of playing my guitar, you know. Already got it in today, fingers buzzing. Also, I am starting, I'm actually halfway into the second week of my next semester of my PhD program. And I have 3 classes this semester, which is the largest caseload of classes, largest class load that I will have. I'm using the word caseload to describe my academic stuff. Yeah. Anyways, for the rest of the program, I will have max 2 classes. So this one semester having 3, you know, I want to be on top of things. For my master's degree, nobody asks, but I had a 4.0 for my master's program, you know, in an accredited university, no less. And I want to keep that going. And so, yeah, I was experiencing a little bit of subjective grading in the previous semester, where I felt like I couldn't tell whether it was me not putting in the time and effort into an assignment, or if it was I just happened to be in an academic space where sometimes people need to take people down a notch because they think, oh, you've got too much of a big head. You think you're this, you know, big shot. You know, you've got all these things going for you as far as the progressive stack of I am like all of the things: white, male, cisgendered, heterosexual, all like ultimate privilege, lies in me, right? And so, like, even the things that I would think would detract from that, like being a disabled vet, in some people's eyes is actually like even more of privilege because you get more help for that. And so, like, wow. I sometimes feel like when I look at the level of academic rigor of my counterparts who are also hanging with me around the same grade level, and then I look at my grade, I'm like, how did that person wind up, in around the same grade range? And universities will use either Canvas or Blackboard, and my previous university used Blackboard for their learning portal, and this one uses Canvas, and you can actually get to see, if they leave this function on, where you are in the grading curve, and what the bottom grade was, what the top grade was, the median grade, the average. All of this is actually just a little box that you can just drop down and see all this information in. While I'm not getting the lowest marks, ever, sometimes I'm wondering, like, dang, I'm looking at my competition, and in discussions, either live or on discussion threads, I just wonder sometimes, like, am I getting graded a little bit more harshly? I get this feeling of defensiveness, and so in order to defend my streak of getting straight A's, I think now that TikTok's about to die, a good use of the time that might have been TikTokable of, like, scrolling, doom scrolling, might be just some extra studying, at least for the next 15 weeks, right? Because 3 classes is harder to manage than 2, So yeah, I tried RedNote, which when I have this idea that I'm about to pull back on my doom scrolling time, just dipping my toe onto that app and seeing how it works and seeing what the hubbub is all about. I do know that I'm not going to be fully putting myself into exploring that, like creating content over there. I made an account, and it being number 1 in the App Store really lights a fire under some congressmen's asses. Like, holy shit, what did we do? So I was a part of the group, but for me, it's not that RedNote has a different flavor of what gets censored, because of the Chinese Communist Party. I know that you're not supposed to talk about Tiananmen Square over there, right? I know that if you talk shit about Xi Jinping, their great leader, and call him a Winnie the Pooh lookalike, you're going to get in trouble, right? And you could get banned for things that maybe I don't even know what it is that they're afraid of their own population talking about, right? But they did publicly say that we could talk about Palestine and Gaza, and so they're okay with that conversation because, doesn't undermine their country at all. It undermines the U.S.'s ability to have public favor for what they do in supporting Israel. And so that being a big reason why TikTok was, targeted for shutdown, because all of those congressmen have, been in the pocket of AIPAC, which, pro-Israel political action committee. Yeah. Red Note checks that box as far as like what the users were looking for as far as a place to talk about that. It also is getting away from Mark Zuckerberg, who was also influential in the banning of TikTok. Politically, all of these people aren't aligned with Elon Musk and going to X, which used to be Twitter, but there's blue sky for people who like content like that, just little short tweets. And not for nothing, I still have my account on X, Twitter, and not being able to get away from the Elon Musk tweets, which is like 4 of them a day. Like the notification that'll happen to my phone, I can turn the notifications off, but I don't. But it will be him, and then it will be like whatever his last one was, and like I don't have to click on it, but like it'll just keep on changing out. Like just the push of him to my feed, even if I have the term Elon Musk blocked and I'm not following him. It really just makes me not want to be there at all. And a lot of people have abandoned it as just like a extreme right cesspool. But I think what happened was, it's not that, of course it's Elon Musk retweeting things from the right, and conservative talking points, but also it's if you don't like Elon Musk or billionaires in general, you're not going to want to pay for a check mark. And the way that the algorithm on X now favors anyone who has a check mark, you really have to feel it in your gut that it's okay to give a couple dollars each month to Elon Musk in order to get your voice heard on that app, and that's why the left isn't doing it, and that's why the right is even more entrenched on X now, is because none of the people on the left really want to pay for the check mark. It's obscene to think that somebody has that amount of money. I have not heard of the Bezos homeless shelter, the Musk homeless shelter, or the Zuckerberg homeless shelter in any large city that I know of, where they're trying to solve the problems with their billions of dollars. I'd love to see that. Instead, they have the ability to solve a lot of problems via the billions that they have, and they'd rather hold on to those billions. And the income gap just keeps on growing in our country. So that's why X is now, filled with alt-right content creators who pay a little money to Elon Musk, and you don't see as much liberal voices over there. I did see a couple right now off the top of my head. I saw JoJo from Jersey, and I recognize her from other platforms as well, but she's still there. But it really, once it started to tip in that direction, it just got taken over. And it's not the same platform that the Arab Spring and Occupy movement used to coordinate their protest efforts. A decade on now, it's completely something that I could only see another insurrection being organized on, or maybe an Alex Jones comeback run, like, I don't know. But one of the things that I feel, just in the two videos that I posted to Red Note and also reposted here on YouTube, because this is kind of my home on YouTube, really. On Red Note, there is not the ability to become rich and famous because there's no way to monetize. And every platform that has that period of pre-monetization has like a golden age during that, right? And as soon as people start making content creation their livelihood, something changes about the whole platform, right? So Blue Sky has that going for it right now, and also Red Note. But even TikTok was, it's hard to stay a part of the conversation, especially a relevant part of the conversation, when I've got a day job, and I've got other ambitions for my academic career and my regular career, where I just cannot keep up with the content creators who reach escape velocity from the normal livelihoods that we all have to maintain. As soon as they hit that point, it's like, well, it parallels the wage gap disparities between CEOs and regular ass workers in every other kind of job. It's like once somebody becomes that made man or overnight star, they achieve this ability to continually invest their time into that content that I will never get to that point, and I've resigned myself to that. I had better tastes of the possibility on TikTok during those little viral moments, but here on YouTube, the algorithm has decided I am not sexy enough. I do not have big enough tits. I do not have the appeal that needs to be given a large audience. And you can see where it just seems like you've got this hot video, it gets a whole bunch of views, and it just gets like capped. Like, no, you're not getting pushed out to anyone else. You've had enough. And it could be all different, disparate things that I've talked about on this app. I did just talk about Tiananmen Square in this video. So it could be that I've just talked about way too many things and don't concentrate on one mind-numbing topic ad nauseum, and for what it's worth, I keep on coming back to YouTube because of the longevity that I've had here. I'm so invested in the community that I do have, and the names that I do recognize, and it's, to me, these videos are not an avenue for me to make enough money to quit my day job. I actually like my life, actually, but it's a way for me to engage in discourse with a tad bit more people than I could if I were just to go out and touch grass and be part of my local communities. But even so, those communities I've talked about that of late there is this passion for people to want to be leaders, and there's too many chiefs, not enough Indians, and a lot of local groups that could be doing a lot of good community work and mutual aid, but they're more about, hey, how can I make this my day job, and how can I make this a bullet point on my resume, you know? And all of that might be a byproduct of this widening wage gap, where people realize that if they don't play the lottery, they're never going to win the lottery, you know? And the only way out of poverty is, you know, a horrible roll of the dice that you're likely to lose. And, you know, in this accounting of my time that I am undertaking, I think that a little time in my day for gratitude for what I already have and what I've already accomplished is something that I'd also like to reflect on each day, you know. I drink different flavor coffee with every little K-Pod that I put in. And it brings me joy. Really does. It's becoming my personality. Way more than collecting Bob Ross memorabilia. There's 2 Christmas ornaments I got this year, by the way. Everybody who wants to get me a Bob Ross anything needs to refer to my last video that I made about my Bob Ross collection. And I keep on updating that video. You know, I've put out a few of them over the years, and now I'm getting doubles of stuff. So you're much better off buying me a consumable, like a different flavor of coffee. I found some really good raspberry infused coffees in my Christmas presents. And so, yeah, that was a tangent. Anyways, if this TikTok ban and the incoming political regime is a good stopping point for you, to where you can just like take stock of your life and decide how you want to live it for the next bit of time, maybe that's something you need to consider. Because for me, I can see, you know, the benefits of changing direction just a little bit.